So, you're thinking about getting the Apple Card. It looks great, it's built into your iPhone. But you're wondering, is this going to wreck my credit score? You've heard opening new credit is risky, but the Apple Card is a bit different. I'm going to walk you through what happens to your credit at every stage, from checking your offer to actually using the card, so you can decide without the stress. First, let's clear up the biggest confusion. Apple's ads say you can apply with no impact to your credit score. For this first step, that's true. When you apply to see your potential credit limit and interest rate, Apple and Goldman Sachs run a soft inquiry. Think of it as a sneak peek. It lets them check your credit history, but it does not affect your credit score. Other lenders won't even see this soft check. So, feel free to see what they'll offer. If you get declined or just don't like the terms, there's no harm done. Okay, so what happens when you see the offer and hit accept? This is when things get real. When you officially accept the Apple Card, Goldman Sachs then performs a hard inquiry. This is a standard step for almost any new credit card. A hard inquiry is an official credit check that other lenders can see, and it will likely cause your score to dip by a few points temporarily. Don't panic. This is normal. The impact of a single inquiry is minor for most people, and that small dip usually bounces back after a few months. Right after you open your Apple Card, your score might also take a small hit because you've lowered the average age of your credit accounts. Credit scores reward a long history of responsible borrowing. For example, if you have one card that's 10 years old, your average account age is 10 years. Add the brand new Apple Card, and that average drops to 5. This can cause another slight, temporary dip. But as you keep the card open, its age will eventually start to help your score. Enough about temporary dips. Let's get to the good news, how the Apple Card can seriously help your credit score. If you use it responsibly, it's an amazing tool. First, credit utilization. This is how much of your available credit you're using, and it's a huge factor. Let's say you get an Apple Card with a $5,000 limit. Your total available credit just went up. If you keep your spending the same, your utilization percentage goes down, which can give your score a major boost. Second, and most important, is your payment history. Goldman Sachs reports your Apple Card activity to all 3 major credit bureaus. By simply paying your bill on time, every single time, you build a positive payment history. This is the single most powerful factor that shapes your credit score. Of course, this card can also hurt your credit if you mismanage it. If you make late payments, that will be reported and will damage your score. The same thing happens if you run up a huge balance. Your credit utilization will spike and drag your score down with it. Also, be mindful of how Apple Card family works. If you're a co-owner, you're both on the hook for the debt, and any missed payments will hurt both of your credit reports. So, what's the final call? Will the Apple Card affect your credit score? Yes. But here's the key. How it affects you is almost entirely in your control. You'll see a small, temporary dip when you first accept the card from the hard inquiry and the new account age. But the long-term impact is all about you. Pay your bills on time and keep your balance low, and the Apple Card becomes a fantastic tool for building a strong credit history.